And of all the people interested in Mars, some of the most excited and potentially determined are today's kids. A 2019 study in the UK, for example, showed that almost half of children believe humans will go to Mars within their lifetime. And if that plays out, then there's every chance that some of those same children could be the first to step foot there. Say humans did get to Mars one day soon, though, within the next 10 or 20 years. Would or could we stay there? That's because Mars, whether today or in a few decades' time, remains naturally dangerous and inhospitable, so much so that many scientists now agree that attempts to terraform it are doomed to fail. We just don't have the money or the technology to undertake many of the complex schemes being put forward, like triggering a planet-wide global warming event to try and build an atmosphere that could sustain us. So outright sending children to Mars isn't likely to happen any decade soon. But with more and more trained astronauts vying to take the trip, and considering that those astronauts, by the time they get there, could well have been the youngest in this generation right now, we could still predict that, yes, your children will live on Mars, assuming that the red planet remains our destination of choice, and we do eventually find ways of getting there that are physically possible. Of course, though, if even only a small handful of humans from Earth were to ever reach the red planet, there are other ways that we could see a child on Mars. While nobody has yet gotten pregnant in space due to, among other things, the complete lack of privacy astronauts have, and the fact that many female astronauts take the contraceptive pill to prevent menstruation in low gravity, does this mean it couldn't ever happen? Well, no, it doesn't. Because if we were to send people to Mars with all the tools and knowledge to survive there indefinitely, and if such a trip were to demand of those astronauts such huge chunks of time in their lives, then it would perhaps be no great surprise if they had families there. But it could carry some major and unusual risks. The biggest problem is radiation. Space, in general, is full of it, and no spacecraft can protect a human anywhere near as well as Earth's atmosphere can, which is why going into space at all can be dangerous even if the entire mission goes as planned. Radiation can also be especially harmful to developing embryos, potentially causing miscarriages and birth defects. And with limited possibilities in terms of health checks for mother or baby during pregnancy, as well as the fact that an Earth-Mars trip is 8 months at its shortest, meaning it's highly unlikely that anyone expecting could return to Earth for the birth, the potential problems mount up and up. However, there have been some studies to give Mars's future housemakers reason for hope. In 2013, for example, Japanese scientists launched the Space Pup experiment, which entailed freeze-dried mouse sperm and flying it around on the ISS for 9 months. They then brought that sperm back to Earth to see if it could still be used to produce viable offspring, and it worked. Healthy baby mice were born, with the environment of space found to have little impact on at least this one particular aspect of reproduction. Of course, a mouse pup is far less complex than a human baby, but the results of the experiment are at least positive for anyone looking to permanently relocate on Earth.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video. Nếu thấy hay hãy like, share, subscribe để ủng hộ kênh Tổng hợp TV nhé.